looked under the sofa, inside the oven, and even in the puppy's old water bowl. Nothing. We have to call the police, Jonna said, her face pale. A detective arrived an hour later. He was a weary man who looked like he had seen too many faked robberies. So, the detective said, snapping his notebook shut, "You left $300 in cash, in an envelope, marked rent, sitting on a shelf, in an unlocked apartment. We're students," Jack said. "We're naive. Nobody's that stupid," the detective sighed. "Look, if you can't pay your rent, just tell your landlord. Don't waste my time with this phantom burglar story. Next time, at least break a window to make it look real." The detective left, leaving the trio in despair. "He didn't even read us our rights," Chrissy moaned. "What are we going to do?" Jonna cried. "Roper will throw us out tonight. He's been waiting for an excuse." "I have an idea," Jack said, his eyes lighting up. "The student loan office. I'll go there and tell them a sad story. I'll tell them I have to weak girls depending on me." "Can I tell them you're pregnant?" Jack asked Jonna. "Get out," she yelled, throwing a pillow. Chapter 12, The Loan and the Truth. Jack's interview at the financial aid office was a disaster of epic proportions. "Mr. Travers," Jack said to the loan officer, "I'm in a bind. I live with 2 roommates. We were robbed, smashed right in. They took everything, even the odd socks." "You live with 2 women?" Mr. Travers asked, leaning forward. "Yes, but it's the 70s. Jack said, "It's very progressive." "And what does your father do for a living?" "He's a minister," Jack said. "He earns about $6,000 a year." "6,000. Mr. Travers sighed. "Mr. Tripper, that means you aren't a hardship case. If your father were poorer, we could help you. But since he's rich, you're on your own." Jack returned to the apartment, defeated. "We're doomed. My father is too successful for me to be poor." Just then, Stanley Roper walked in. He looked uncharacteristically cheerful. "All right, kids," Stanley said. "I'm here to take you out to dinner." "Dinner?" Jonna asked. "But what about the rent?" "The rent?" Stanley laughed. "You already paid it. I came up yesterday to fix the sink, saw the envelope marked rent on the shelf, and took it. I even left a receipt in my book." The trio stared at him. "You took it?" Jack gasped. "We had the police here. We thought we were robbed." "Well," Stanley shrugged, "you should have looked at your own receipt book. I'm a professional." "Jack, I don't take money without a trace." "Stanley," Helen said, appearing in the doorway, "are we going to eat or what?" Yeah, Stanley grumbled. "Come on, kids. My treat. Well, my wife's treat. I'm using the money I saved by not going to the dentist." As they walked down the stairs, Jack looked at Jonna and Chrissy. They were broke, they were clumsy, and they were constantly on the verge of eviction. But as the laughter of the Ropers echoed from below and the smell of the sea breeze wafted through the open window, Jack Tripper knew one thing for sure. 3 was definitely company. Chapter 13, The Culinary School Crisis. The following week, the atmosphere in apartment 201 was thick with the scent of garlic, burnt butter, and Jack's rising panic. His final exam at the Los Angeles Culinary Institute was only 48 hours away, and the dish he had been assigned sole Veronique was currently getting the better of him. "It's the grapes," Jack wailed, waving a whisk like a weapon. "They're supposed to be poached, not shriveled like my Aunt Gertrude's elbows." Jana looked up from her floral arrangement catalogs. "Jack, take a breath. It's just fish." "Just fish?" Jack gasped. "This is the Everest of seafood. Jana, if I fail this, I'm back to working at the Burger Barn wearing a paper hat that says, 'Ask me about my pickles.'" Chrissy wandered in, looking confused. "Why are you putting fruit on fish anyway?" "Jack, grapes are for breakfast, and fish is for, well, for cats. It's a delicacy, Chrissy," Jack explained, trying to regain his composure. "A delicate balance of sweet and savory. Now, I need a volunteer to taste my third attempt." Jana and Chrissy exchanged a terrified glance. The first attempt had been so salty it felt like swallowing a mouthful of the Pacific, and the second attempt had been crunchy. "I'll do it," a voice shouted from the doorway. It was Honest Larry, wearing a leisure suit that looked like it had been salvaged from a polyester explosion. "Larry, don't you ever knock?" Jana asked. The door was unlocked. Larry shrugged. "Besides, I smelled something that wasn't exhaust fumes for once. What's for dinner, Tripper?" Jack handed him a fork. Larry took a large bite, chewed thoughtfully, and then his eyes bulged. He reached for a glass of water, drinking it in one gulp. "Well?" Jack asked, hopeful. "It's distinct," Larry wheezed. "It has a certain je ne sais quoi, which is French for I don't know what it is, but it's trying to kill me." Jack slumped onto a kitchen stool. "That's it. I'm a failure. I'll never be a chef." "Oh, come on, Jack," Jana said, walking over and putting a hand on his shoulder. "You just need practice. We'll help you. We'll be your mock examiners." For the next 6 hours, Apartment 201 was transformed into a high-stakes restaurant. Jana acted as the head judge, wearing a pair of glasses on the end of her nose, while Chrissy pretended to be a difficult customer who kept asking if the fish was all natural. The pressure was mounting, but as the clock ticked toward midnight, something clicked. The sauce thickened to a velvety gold, the grapes remained plump, and the sole flaked perfectly under the fork. "Jack," Jana said, her voice serious, "you did it. This is incredible." "Really?" Jack beamed. "Really?" Chrissy agreed, taking a bite. "It tastes like, well, it doesn't taste like fish at all." Chapter 14, The Rooftop Garden Fiasco. Spring had arrived in Santa Monica, and with it came a sudden craze for organic gardening. Jana, being the most plant-conscious of the trio, had decided that the flat roof of their apartment building was the perfect place for a community garden. Think of it, Jack, Johnny cried, gesturing toward a stack of wooden crates.